Welcome to Credit One2One by Qualco, where we break down the biggest questions in credit, banking, and fintech, one episode at a time.
So, welcome to Qualco's podcast, where we explore the latest innovation in finance and technology. I'm George Koukis, International Business Development Director of Factoring and Supply Chain Finance Digital Solution. And today we are diving into the incredible transformation of TBC Bank factoring business. Joining me today is Ms. Tamara Khizanishvili, who has been at the forefront of this transformation. Tamara works with TBC Bank as the Director of Trade Finance and Factoring Department and has more than 20 years of experience in this industry. Welcome to our podcast, Tamara.
George, thank you for inviting me to your podcast to discuss digital solutions for factoring. I appreciate the opportunity to share insights on this important topic and look forward to an engaging conversation.
So, let's start at the beginning. TBC has been a major player in factoring services in Georgia, supporting large corporates and SME with working capital solution. Tamara, can you walk us through how TBC factoring business started and how it has evolved over time?
Sure. TBC financed its first factoring transaction back in 2007. But since this first transaction, only few factorings were executed till 2018. Then the bank decided to boost the product and increase access to finance for SMEs and corporate clients by offering factoring products. It's not difficult to guess that product was fully manual and paper-based. Therefore, the number of transactions remained very, very low, and we were more focused on high-value tickets. So, turnaround point for factoring business was the decision to digitize. After launching the platform, the number of transactions increased at a very high pace, and they reach several thousand transactions per month. That's how we started and where we are now.
That's really interesting. It sounds like the factoring business in TBC has come a long way. So if you can please tell us how factoring has contributed to your corporate and SME customer and in general in the wider economy of Georgia.
You know that business needs working capital to ensure a smooth supply chain. Suppliers need liquidity and buyers need extended payment terms. Factoring, reverse factoring benefit both of them. Moreover, small business often experience lack of collateral. Large corporates might need to clean their balance sheet from the bank loans. Some need collection services of receivables. Some need credit cover from bad debts. So factoring solves all these challenges. Therefore, when the clients start using factoring product, they realize the benefits and continue using it consistently. So it largely benefited our clients, and now we have steady turnover of factoring, and they use factoring consistently daily.
Fantastic. Great point. So you mentioned before that TBC started from, let's say, a traditional approach to a more digitized approach. And that means that TBC has certainly been evolving in this area. And that brings me to the next question. TBC Bank transitioned into TBC, because I noticed that you have removed from your branding the word bank. I'm very eager to hear from you if this change was mainly about marketing and branding, or was it related to any other fundamental changes as well? I mean, was there any particular message that you wanted to pass to the market doing that?
Just for clarification, we still use TBC Bank logo, but in most cases, we use only TBC because TBC is more than just a bank. It's a technology company, and the main goal and philosophy of the bank is to make clients' lives easy. in every way. This approach covers all segments, corporates, SMEs, retail. For large businesses, TBC goes far beyond the traditional banking services and offers them consultancy services. We are biggest supporters and contributors in growth of our clients' businesses, and we support our clients in any way they want to grow their business.
That's really interesting, Tamara. So, have you faced any major challenges during this digital transition? I mean, as a bank and as a factoring department?
The challenge is always a human capital issue. Going beyond traditional services requires more qualification and dedication. So Georgia is a small market and it's very difficult to find such professionals. Therefore, we decided to start sourcing people from all over the world. And of course, this is a challenge to find people outside country, to attract them. And of course, the language barriers are very often a challenge, but that because TBC is an international company with different cultures, so they attracting these people from outside is not a big it's a problem, it's a challenge, but still it's possible.
That's a great insight. So speaking of digital transformation, let's talk about the digitalization journey of the bank. When did TBC decide to digitize its factoring operation, and what was the driving force behind this decision?
So, as I've mentioned, at the end of 2018, TBC decided to boost factoring product. But soon we understand that development of the product without digitalization was absolutely impossible. It wasn't realistic. Our aim was to reach almost all sectors, and mainly it was FMCG sector, where we faced thousands of invoices and daily more than 10 financing requests from the clients daily. So manual processing of documents, then agreement with the seller and the buyer, signing the documents. It was a time-consuming and very slow process. So clients were very unsatisfied, and therefore they preferred credit lines they have already to factoring. So we had to make a decision: either close the product and say goodbye, or start digitalization. So our decision was to go to digitize the product and purchase a platform.
Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense. So I imagine it was not just about adopting new technology, but also about getting employees and customers on board and aligned with the new reality. Was it?
Yes. That transition was not an easy process. Adoption of the platform internally was related to 7 to 24 hours of hard work, doubts, arguing very often with the vendors, with bank IT internally. We had lots of mistakes. We had learning process. And finally, we got a product which we think is worth spending valuable time and energy. And George, because we were working together on that.
Great. Tamara, I wanted to ask you, we all know that change sometimes can be met with resistance, especially from customers that are used to traditional processes. I'm wondering, how did your corporate and SME clients react to this digital transition?
Clients well received the digital factoring product, and they were very satisfied and were pleased by the online experience that we offered, that not requiring them to visit bank premises, and especially after the COVID period, everything, all the products go online. So we offered customers full digital end-to-end journey. So including signing of documents, from uploading the invoices, confirmation, financing, repayment. So all the actions that clients should do is online. Therefore, the clients well received and very satisfied with the product that we offered.
This is fantastic. So it sounds to me like digitalization not only streamline operation internally, but also significantly improve the customer experience. And that brings me to the next topic. What is technology's overall impact on TBC's factoring business? And how has technology transformed your factoring operation? I believe there was an effect on your team. Have you found any significant and tangible benefits from this digital transition within your team?
Yes, I will say a few words about the platform itself. The platform enables us to onboard all the participants in one digital space. It's the bank, the seller, and the buyer. Status of each transaction could be traced in a live mode. Seller or the buyer uploads the invoices for financing. The other party checks the validity, either confirms or rejects the invoice. The bank gets immediately the information about the validation and with one click authorizes the financing. The time of financing reduced from 1 or sometimes it was like 2 or 3 days in some cases, maximum to 30 minutes. So you see huge difference between the 1 day or 2 days and 30 minutes for financing. The system notifies the seller about the financing and the buyer and the buyer also. And in the end, on the due date, the system itself sends notifications to the buyer and reminds them that the payment due date is close after 5 days. So the buyers have information. Then the buyers can go to internet bank where we have all the invoices or factoring, and they can repay by clicking only on the invoice in the box. So platform saves time for the factoring team, for the clients, and now our team has enough time for self-development, for trainings of the corporates and SME bankers, also for the pitching to the clients, and of course, exploring new opportunities.
Okay, that's impressive. It sounds like a game changer for the business, because from what you say, technology hasn't just made things faster, but it's also created a more intelligent and user-friendly experience for your customers. Is it the case?
Yes, of course. It's a very good case for the bank, how we improve the product through digitalization. And what is important that this also improved the operational risk and fraud prevention. So the platform processes and verifies thousands of invoices for double financing. In case of identification of such cases, the platform rejects them and notifies the parties about the double financing. The system has several levels of authorization for the clients, for the seller, and for the buyer. Therefore, our clients are secured from any unauthorized financing request or confirmation of invalid invoices. Bank has for each action 4I principle, and on the other hand, the platform sends reminders to the buyer, as I've mentioned, about the due date and about the due date before the due date and on the due date. So the platform enables us to eliminate as much as possible human risk and errors. That is very important.
Very important, because I see that technology played an important role and improved significantly your risk assessment and fraud prevention methodologies and mechanisms. Fantastic. So, speaking of partnerships, a few years ago, TBC trusted Qualco with its digital transformation of the factoring business. Can you tell us what led to this partnership and how this partnership has it evolved so far?
There were a number of vendors of factoring platforms. After detailed study and assessment of factoring platforms in terms of features, product variety, security, simplicity in use, fraud prevention, price, of course, and vendors' willingness to meet requirements of TBC, we decided that Qualco was the best. So Qualco was chosen as a partner. The partnership started in 2019, and it was like December, and it counts for about 5 years, almost 5 years. And I have to mention that nevertheless, TBC had specific factoring products tailored to the needs of the clients. Qualco has always been trying to accept the challenge and solve it and find a solution which would be most appropriate. So we are very happy to have Qualco as a partner, and we're sure that together we improve and even improve and develop existing platform on a next level to make our customers' life easier.
This is great to hear that from you, Tamara. So to conclude our podcast, I have a last question for you. Considering TBC's successful use of technology, what key advice would you offer to other banks that are seeking to follow your digital transformation journey?
So the main advice is to understand what are the customers' needs and to identify the weak sections of customer journey that factoring company has. Prepare detailed product description and the process. Explore the market for different solutions. Spend time on studying, assessing all possible solutions, and you have to spend most time on that, studying and assessing the solutions, and compare them with your needs. And don't be fascinated by well-known names with expensive solutions, which might include the products that you don't need at all, and you are paying more for those solutions and those products that you don't use in your daily life. So, the last but not the least, the vendor shall be a partner, and always be ready to support you. Therefore, be sure that you find a good partner you can rely on in critical situations. That's partnership. Partnership means everything.
I think that's a very valid points. That's a wrap for today's podcast. We cover some fascinating insights into the digitalization of TBC's factoring business. A huge thank you, Tamara, for sharing your expertise with us. It's been a real pleasure. Goodbye, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Credit 121 by Qualco. If you enjoyed the conversation, subscribe to our podcast and follow Qualco on LinkedIn.